Aloha, salutations, for the exception of the ever so stoic Sifu Chat. I'm Sifu Z, and this is the Dirty Dojo. I have a little something special I'm going to share with on this day. Let it be known that I had come up with an essay. Um, and the essay is uncertainty about it. Uh, I've also posted it in the description. Yeah, I'm pretty I got it in the description. So you can also see it there. You can also see this short little essay. It's just 2 paragraphs. You can also check over at patreon.com/seafoods as well section of this. Yes, this essay is that poignant to what it is that we do answering the demon dark lord's question. So here it goes, guys. In guys and gals, I really don't like it when they just go, okay, guys, okay, guys. Although for us, it would be probably apropos. We mostly just have guys here, but guys and gals, this is the Wing Chun Certainty Principle. If you're familiar with quantum physics and the Heisenberg uncertainty principle, then you'll be uh, f- familiar with who I'm paying homage to. Yeah, let's put it that way. So, in Wing Chun Kung Fu, just as in the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle, the act of observation changes the outcome. So, to fixate on an opponent's position, to predict intent is to risk misjudging position. You see where I'm going with this? All right. Self defense training in Wing Chun emphasizes fluidity, sensitivity, and adaptability, qualities that mirror the uncertainty inherent in quantum mechanics. Like particle cannot be precisely known at the same time, a skilled martial artist or Wing Chun man or woman, right, understands that control in combat doesn't come from trying to know everything at once, but from embracing uncertainty and responding in the moment with relaxed readiness and rooted instinct. Give me a moment, right? In learning Wing Chun forms, especially when training on the Mook Jong, the student often breaks movements down into numbered segments for study and memory. Yet, this analytical approach, while useful, can never fully capture the essence of the living form. Just as Heisenberg's uncertainty principle tells us that we cannot know both a particle's exact position and momentum simultaneously. The moment we isolate a movement to understand it, we remove it from the flowing context that gives it life. The act of doing is dynamic, intuitive, and whole. Breaking it down is static, intellectual, and partial. One is expression, the other is examination. Mastery lies allowing the mind the rhythm of motion. Sandbag training. A lot, but it is very precisely constructed writing on this concept, which I've been thinking about. And you can say, well, Wing Chun and physics is related, but as someone once retorted back, everything is related to physics. Of course, we can disagree with that because religion is not related to physics, and things that are physics. So that actually wasn't a very good retort, but it was a nice try. Uh, when we train, now I um, wrote this in relation to the Mook Jong because the Mook Jong is really our physical manifestation of our martial art. It expresses uh, angles that really master. So this writing I directed to the actual physical effigy. Of course, could be uh, art form where you need to be or respond in the moment with relaxed readiness and rooted instinct. Enunciate. Rooted instinct. Rooted instinct. That's quite a word there. That's quite a coupling of words if you think of it.
Yeah.
Rooted instinct. So, and almost like a tree now, isn't it? Almost like a tree, rooted instinct. Mook Jung, almost like a tree. Man, when Grandmaster Chris Chan said that Wing Chun is just the most beautiful martial art on the planet, I'm starting to just see that more and more these days of just how freaking beautiful. A lot of times you're doing something, you're so involved in something that you don't get a chance to step away from it. How freaking beautiful, you know. Uh so in relation to essay, I've been working we've both been working with Justin on the Mook Jung, and we're talking about figuring it out by breaking it down and breaking down the number.
Right.
And that seems simple enough. Arbitrary. You want the numbers to key points. However, what you they're not there. The numbers are not serve you in order to I say in the essay, then remove you from being precise. That is so huge, not just in martial arts and in our Wing Chun and in jujitsu or whatever you're training in. It's just it's incredible life advice. The Heisenberg principle, I think, eludes a lot of people. They don't like uncertainty. So the title alone take them away. Takao, Kazuki,
Taho Kazunari.
Brazil, aloha. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sifu Chad, he can say it better than me. Say it again.
Takao Kazunari.
And he says Itachi.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to translate for me.
No.
Okay. Sorry, I only know all the other languages. Japanese, the only language I don't know. Yeah. Oh, so
I know
um
all of the Japanese language. I know some, but yeah.
all right, man, we already have hit oh no, we haven't. We've been live for a half hour, but we've only been training since 9:30. We're at 42. Oh, I'm I'm looking.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I remember learning when I was first learning the Mook Jong. I learned it in. I didn't learn it in numbers. I just I just watched it. I emulated you, and then but we went by sections. And for me to think about numbers now is hard. I mean, it's hard enough already to say when you're leading the form for other people and they can't see you and you have to call out the postures as you do them as you're doing the Mook Jung. That's another pretty difficult task as well. And then now to number it at the same time, it's good for learning. And then after you're done learning it, then you don't really think in terms of numbers. Well, at least I don't think in terms of numbers anymore. Um, but more in terms of just the fluidity of doing the form in that sequence of numbers. You know what I mean? But I'm not really thinking about the numbers anymore. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, there is a time for one and a time for other. Uh, and knowing when it's time to go back to the
Hmm.
details and knowing when it's okay to remove yourself from the
Hmm.
details and not be overwhelmed by the details, not be impinged by the details
Right.
is huge.
Right.
But not getting the details is huge.
Yeah. Detail
Um,
first, and then yeah, you have to wire in the details so that you don't necessarily have to think about it when you're just trying to go through the motions of it. But yeah, you
and we are talking mastery here, right? We're talking mastery. So when we're talking,
yeah, it does, right? Yeah. Yeah.
manifestation of music. Uh, uh,
Metronome scales.
yes, well,
Yeah.
mm, yeah, chords,
Hmm. Hmm.
even overtone, harmonic overtones. It all is martial arts and vice versa. And in this particular case, imagine if you had to read each note when you're playing, you know,
Dude.
and in trying to learn a piece of music, yet to hear the whole thing in your head, right? There's that process. Then there's, you know it, but then over time some things sneak in there, some inaccuracies creep
Yeah.
in,
Yeah, it
right?
does.
Yeah, and so then you go back to you go to the piece of music, and you go, oh yes, that's a dotted eighth note, and it's an F sharp. It's not a F natural. Duh. But and especially due to the fact that you're in a 12-tone temperament, which isn't very, it's not very aesthetic to the overtone series. So what happens is certain notes, especially in classical music, certain notes don't sound as good as other notes, and your ear will drift to the note that sounds better because it's of its temperament. It wasn't until the piano that you had that 12-tone temperament. They were leading up to it with the harpsichord and all that, and the clavier and all that stuff. So, hey, Takao, you understand Portuguese? Us, uma plata. Let me see. The Mata Leon. Uh, let me see. I don't know, like Brazilian Jiu Jitsu Portuguese. Uh,
Yes, Takal. This is Wing Chun, and the family.
yeah.
That's where we're at.
So, you're not involved in master.
Yeah.
Little. Well, that's funny because form is C, which means small. Poquito. It sounds like poquito, right? Poquito Portuguese more than it is Espanol, right? Uh, yeah, you can also, um, what I just, my essay is down in the description. You can translate it and read it yourself. So, essay description. I feel like I'm in another country. Soon we'll have AI that will just translate stuff right on the fly. That would be cool. All right. We are almost at 10 o'clock. Um, Sifu Chad, are you still
Yeah.
there?
Am I still?
Okay. Um, no, you're not moving yet, but that's
Uh,
okay. I'm tap dancing as fast as I can to cover up for you. Um, if you get with Justin, then we were doing numbers, and finally, when I with this here, I was able to realize that those numbers were not exactly accurate. They're not correct in terms of what we're doing. Now, again, it's so important to understand that those numbers are subjective,
Mhm.
right? So, group, whose subjectivity would you like to follow?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
In a group, when you're working with numbers and stuff, whose subjectivity do you want to follow? Um,
Right. Yeah.
but
As we all fade
but
back.
here it was a thing.
A- As we all from black belt, as we all fade back into white. Faded white. I read it in a book.
4, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Number that no, I'm not doing the numbers right either.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I just did that whole numbering system. I finally, instead of breaking it down in movements, which leave you uh, here, which leave here. So, and that would be, let's say number 18. We do 9 and 9, 18. Mean anything to anybody unless you're training with us. But um, but you can play with it yourself, and you'll see where the vital 18 are that lead you to here.
Hmm.
In fact, it would be go ahead and let you figure out what it is. Yeah. See what you come up
Yeah.
with. Everything is wrong. You're just using the numbers in order to study. The empirical approach to numbers, those numbers don't exist, right? That's that's a concept. I mean,
It is.
the abstract
Yeah.
is quite incredible, but those numbers don't exist when it comes time to act,
Mm.
right? And when it comes time to do the number, the reality, that reality becomes very fuzzy because, right, when you're reading, can you see everything in clear view around you? No, when you're seeing the letters, right? And if you want to see everything around you, you kind of, it's the way we operate. Right? I'm not like coming up with any personal philosophies here. As you,
Yeah.
philosophies are like opinions.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not really fond of philosophy. I'm not fond of any opinion, unless it eludes to some objective truth, you know? Um, so therefore, this is why we have, I'm going to go about 5 on this stream. Therefore, we have Heisenberg's uncertainty principle finally balanced with Wing Chun certainty principle. So now you go, oh, that's getting crazy. Yes, it is. That's crazy. Hear me out
Uncertainty.
here. Wing Chun certainty principle. Can you say, and this is, again, this is what I'm trying to get to. Can you say what the Wing Chun certainty principle is? Again, you know, you guys have never given a wrong answer lately, but I am alluding to a specific answer.
Um,
Again, what if if Heisenberg's uncertainty principle says you can't know the momentum position at the same time,
right.
then what does Wing Chun's certainty principle say?
Mm, is it from our 12 laws? I can think of a few.
Right, that's what I mean. You're not going to really come up with a wrong,
Yeah.
but
You could you could expect the best and prepare for the worst. You could turn crisis to opportunity. Um, anticipate deception. Right. Whole laundry list.
I am very specific as far as the fight goes.
Okay.
Because, Wing Chun, when it comes right down to it, we're talking about
Yeah.
fighting. Yeah. Yeah. Look, and you haven't studied that's
Yeah.
illiterate, right? know, I've also called Wing Chun the finishing school of martial arts. Um, I chew on that one when we go to our private set over at patreon.com/cfoozy. If you'd like to join us, go check that out. I'm going to reveal what I'm talking about, what I'm alluding to on our private session. But just again, for any of you out there, I'll say again, if Heisenberg's uncertainty principle is about you can't know
Position and moment. That's,
with any accuracy at the same
yeah.
time, then what would be I should all uncertainty principle and stuff. you know? And so, um, but it is ours. I found it, right? It's ours. And I share it with you. But Wing Chun, from here on, Wing Chun's certainty principle. So that way, even if you don't train in Wing Chun, understand the concept. But I'm not going to fully here now. I'll explain that over our private session. This is half of the session. We open doors for the first half of our session, and then half, if you're part of our team over, you get to train. Or we focus on things like the Mook Jong, Seong Tao Mook Jong, Buji. What am I talking about? Seong Tao, Chongqi, Buji, Mook Jong, Bar Chong Do, long pole. That's our focus. For our public offering, we normally will share stuff like that, what we're sharing now, And we also do a little bit of training. I said I'm going to go 10 minutes over, and that's because I at least our 10 sandbag session with you folks. Of course, one thing we always do in our sessions is sandbag training. Now, if you do martial arts, you do self-defense specifically. When I say martial arts, please understand I'm talking mostly self-defense here. For although again, and educational purposes, train at your own risk. Now, you need this is going to be more so than not going to be your first line of defense, your first line of response to to an opponent, to your adversary. There's a better word. And so, if if this is weak, if this whole system here is weak, oh boy, you don't have much chance of being able to defend yourself. But if you have a strong system, hand system, wrist system, strong and not strong as in calloused and just like in Wing Chun, we're not going to hit a person hard. We're going to allow ourselves on what we have is a very strong structure. We have what's called rooted. Boom. We root ourselves at the correct time, the correct position. Now you can train the hands, the fingers, forearms. Try. You can also lift these things if you want to train your biceps and triceps, right? So these are very good for that. In fact, start using just sandbag for triceps because you can, right? If you have this hanging, you can hang it, or like seafood is on his Mook Jong, and he has attached up here one sternum a little bit. Not it's how grounded you are and how strong that connection is to the ground, right? Important. You practice some forward elbows and down elbows, upward elbows, downward elbows. Now, the problem, if you train in martial arts, this is something you have to do on a regular. You need just that basic strength. You don't need superhuman power or strength. You just need to be as strong as your system to keep your hands out. Now, a lot of that also depends on being able to pivot off So if you're like a really big person, or maybe their angle is, then you also have to know how and when to pivot off of. Now, given our training is usually with this very, very dense piece of wood. Yeah, human beings are in relation a big old log in relation the sand. It gets a lot harder, especially as it starts to really break down. Becomes more like a brick. Oh, Seafood Chad is finally.
Did I unfreeze? Am I moving? Okay, nice.
No, you're good. Oh, no, we're getting steady punches from
Hey. $17 million. It's changed. 140 million.
with Wing Chun training. Sifu Z, Wing Chun training. Is you get to do your pivot, do your pivot thing and reach around. Like, there is, I don't know if you've been seeing them in your feed. There is this.
Yeah. That's sick. Ah! Hey man, you got to put everything in your arsenal, right? Deception, confusion, right? Making them feel uncomfortable. Yeah, dude.
He's squaring off with the guy and hands down and pointing at the audience. What? And then, but he sees him in the corner of his eye. So beautiful because he's doing this.
Yeah.
He knows the knockout punch. All right. That's a little clue. And we'll see you next week. Aloha.